I'm here on the campus of McNeese State University in Lake Charles, where the Seed Center serves as the home of economic recovery across southwest Louisiana. It's a momentous day here at UF Health. I'm told 350 hospital employees will be vaccinated today. They're hoping more will follow in the coming weeks. Mail-in ballots continue to be counted in multiple states. There were some shifts in Florida's voting pattern. All the numbers may be a lot to process, but a Gainesville Park's Christmas light display could help make the waiting game a bit more merry and bright. Kat Cammack was declared the winner of Florida's 3rd Congressional District a little over an hour ago. And while the room has died down a bit, the rest of the crowd plans to stick around longer to see more results come in. Welcome back to The Lead. I'm Anthony Montalto. Let's jump in. This episode is all about overcoming the odds. You'll hear about a one-armed golfer, Tropical Storm Ada's effects on Florida, and even about a viral Facebook group bringing generations together.
In March, the education world changed in the blink of an eye. Schools nationwide shut down due to the coronavirus pandemic. The Lead's Anthony Montalto checks in with Alachua County teachers and their ever-changing situation.
This is the new normal for countless students in Alachua County. And for their teachers, it means TV monitors, email alerts, text messages, and of course the word reconnecting. Teachers all over Alachua County are teaching themselves how to teach again. At Eastside High School, IB math teacher Shelly McLean came up with an idea to heighten her hybrid classes.
We have to be able to write on our screens to share with the students. If you're in English or history, you can just click through your slides and there it is.
McLean took to a local Facebook group asking for old monitors. Now 5 math teachers have extra screens to teach with. Gainesville High School English teacher Diana Parfait has a similar setup in her classroom, but she says teaching right now still has its challenges.
We're frustrated with the workload. It's not that Canvas is hard, it's that it's tedious. I have never clicked so many times.
Now, both teachers have told me while their jobs are worlds different from this time last year, it's not a paycheck that keeps them going. It's their love for their students. For The Lead, I'm Anthony Montalto. It's a question being raised a lot this week as vaccine shipments arrive in cities nationwide, including right here in Gainesville. Can your employer require you to be vaccinated against COVID-19? Employment attorney Paul Donnelly says in short, yes, but there's a catch.
There are 2 sort of exemptions, if you will, to a requirement that an employee take a vaccine.
One of the exemptions is a qualifying disability, something like an allergy.
Or if the employee has a sincerely held religious belief that prevents them from being vaccinated.
Medical professionals are among the first to be eligible for the vaccine in Florida. Dr. Grant Harrell, a Dixie County-based community physician, says his employer offers vaccine alternatives for employees.
If somebody does not get the flu shot, well, then they're required to wear a mask at all times when they're at the job site.
Recently, Dr. Harrell worked at a drive-through COVID-19 testing event at the Martin Luther King Center in East Gainesville. Harrell is glad to see a vaccine approved. He hopes that soon it's widely available like COVID tests. As COVID-19 cases spread across the country, testing sites like this one have become more common, making it easier for people to get tested and go right back to work. And the medical professionals here are hoping that one day people can get the COVID vaccine here too. For now, the vaccine is only available to healthcare workers, but in the meantime, Dr. Harrell has some advice.
I hope that all people would wear masks, when they're indoors or unable to socially distance outdoors.
And Paul Donnelly is encouraging people to get medical guidance on whether they can receive the vaccine safely.
I think we all need to take this pandemic seriously and do whatever we can to do our part to help our fellow people not get ill or worse.
The next group to get vaccinated in Florida will be those living in long-term care facilities, followed by first responders. Anthony Montalto, WUFT News. Pamela Morales once dreamed of playing the flute, but her father had another idea.
He was like, the violin is cuter, it's a little bit less expensive, let's try that.
16 years later, Morales is a semi-professional violinist. Her mother's the flutist in the family.
I was like, why can't you play the flute and I can't?
Even though the violin wasn't Morales' first choice, she was surprised with what she found.
I fell in love with orchestra. It happened that I was already playing the violin and I wasn't very bad at it. So it was like, let's just see what this is gonna give me.
It's given her a lot. Countless high-profile performances, 2 degrees, and even an album. Right now, Morales performs with 2 orchestras in pursuit of her doctorate in violin performance.
I can't imagine myself not doing this.
But in March, the COVID-19 pandemic hit Florida, and like the careers of musicians around the world, Morales' too came to a standstill. With rehearsals and performances canceled over concerns of virus spread, Morales hunkered down to quarantine. Dreams on hold, at least for the moment.
I stopped practicing. I was too sad to practice. I remember that I promised my professor, like, hey, I'm gonna have this concerto ready, and I'm gonna have this ready, and I'm also gonna start doing that. I didn't do anything.
Morales spent most of last year working on solo music for her doctorate recital, the first of 3. She says her boyfriend even planned to travel from Mexico to watch her play. But the recital never happened.
It's a bit sad because I actually was looking forward to play in front of people, even if it was a small audience. I wanted my friends from the violin studio, I wanted my best friend to be there, but that's not gonna happen.
Instead, she performed the recital months after the original date, in late October. But when Morales walked into Recital Hall 101 on performance day, her professor and a camera were her only audience. She put over a year's worth of work into the performance. It got discouraging. But her secret weapon smile and new music with the UF Symphony Orchestra kept her going. Dr. Raymond Shobaz is the director. He's held the position for 39 years, and he says the pandemic has placed a lot of restrictions on his program.
There was no chance to have the full orchestra, and when you say full orchestra, we had up to 110 people in the orchestra. That's a big orchestra, so with all these problems, we thought it would be best to just have strings.
That means some instruments like trumpets, flutes, and even xylophones are out of the picture altogether. Shobaz says it's important to have orchestra in person, even if the musicians seem to leave the room every 30 minutes to let the air refresh.
You learn orchestra only by doing it together, not by talking about it and not by playing as a soloist. You know, it's all about interaction.
And Morales has taken that interaction to heart. Before the pandemic, she'd congratulate friends on a great performance with a hug and a smile. If she passed them in the hallway, they'd get the same.
I hug everybody. That's I don't know if that's a Mexican thing or if that's a me thing, but I hug everybody. And not being able to hug anyone, it's really annoying.
She says prior to COVID-19, hugging had caught on among violinists at UF. It encourages closer bonds and fosters growth, both as musicians and as friends. And Shobaz says he's seen a lot of growth from Morales.
I have the chance to take her in front of a professional orchestra because I knew everything was there for her to be presented to the public as a very powerful soloist.
But it's not a solo gig she's looking for, at least not for now. One day she plans to play in the Jacksonville Symphony.
The first time I heard them, I was like, oh my God, they sound so amazing.
But until the big audition day, her preparation continues. With smiles, her passion for the orchestra, and thoughts of future hugs, there's work to be done, and Morales is ready for the journey. Anthony Montalto, WUFT News.